What's up, guys? Brian back to talk about The Walking Dead Season 6 finale. If you haven't seen it, we're going to spoil some things. So, spoiler alert. It left us hanging until October. If you don't want to know about spoilers or the episode, stop watching now. Move away from it. But was it the worst of the season, of the finales? Was it totally unnecessary to have this cliffhanger? Yes, it was totally unnecessary. There's no reason for Robert Kirkman and Scott Gimple to not show us who it was. It's really not that big a deal going forward to show us who the victim was. The episode would not have been that bad unless they did that, but they didn't, so it sucked. Crappiest finale, definitely one of the worst. I don't know if it's the worst, but it's up there. The footprints were laid going into season 7, literally going forward. Morgan and Carol were the best part of the episode, and they weren't even that big a part of it. Morgan saving Carol, killing this guy. Morgan doesn't kill anybody, but he shot him 6 times, which was awesome. Carol wants to die, but we can't have you die yet, Carol. The fans love you too much, and you can't go out yet. Maybe in season 7, but not now. The Kingdom Riders were another part, and they were awesome. Got to see them again. They were a small little part, but they're laying the foundation for next season, which is huge. The Kingdom partnership begins with Rick's group and the Hilltop. You got 15 of the million saviors that Negan has. He's got so many people, it's ridiculous. So that's going to be a challenge going forward. Bitch nuts, Abraham, another great line there. You know, again, there's little tidbits of the episode that were kind of good, but overall it was just kind of crappy. This RV was driving back and forth and this way and that way and over here, blocked and this and that and blocked again and over here and there. That's got to be over. The RV's got to be out of gas by now. A lot of trees went to waste here. No, but basically got blocked in again and again and again. The saviors love to hang people. We got to see that. We saw the brutal side of the saviors. We know they're going to be a pain in the ass and a big challenge. They're going to be the biggest challenge that Rick's group has. Probably in the show, unless they do the whispers kind of thing, maybe later on down the road. But this actually was done pretty well with the walkers, or the little chain walkers, and they kind of did it pretty awesome there. But that was a little minor thing. They better answer the baby question, if Maggie's going to have it or not, early on, maybe the first or second episode. We got to know. I feel like this was unnecessary to keep seeing over and over again about the little noises and the sunlight or the lights going through there, whatever it was. But no answer about Daryl getting shot, if he's okay. We barely saw these guys, Daryl, Michonne, Glenn, and Rosita. We saw them very minimally. Michonne got a haircut, and that's really all we saw her. She just sat there and knelt there and didn't do anything, and no really Michonne parts. The Saviors are definitely a huge challenge. We see that from the huge little party they're going to have there against the Rick's group there. Now we got to do all this research on what happened in these angles and be Walking Dead detectives to see, well, if he was lined up here in this angle and look at this, and to see who gets Lucille on there too. But we picked Glenn. There's another video about that. Now we got to look at the shadows. That Carl's hat. Let's slow this down to stop and picture all this crap. You should have just showed us. We wouldn't have to do any of this crap. But basically, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he actually did a good job as Negan, but you got to shave and you got to get bigger, my man. It did not look good from that aspect of Negan, but they did a good job with Lucille. I mean, I don't know how you mess it up with a barbed wire bat, but it did pretty well for them. Sticking with the comics for this scene was a good idea, with showing the eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and the group, and this, and other shots, and over here. Definitely a good way to build it up, and they did build it up, but there was no payoff. There was no final, ending to it. There was just build up, and nothing. So we like to see how they did with the characters' responses, like Abraham saying he wasn't scared and he'll step up if he needs to. You can see the difference between each character. If some were tough, some were sad, some were cowards, some were scared, some were tough, some were they would stand up for it. Negan was straight from the comics. The lines, everything minus the F-bombs. The audio was pretty good. He had to finish the job. You don't tease us with part of Negan in the lineup. That's just messed up, man. You can't mess with the Walking Dead fans like that. Like Eugene was pretty scared in there too. All the 11 people, they had really good facial expressions and did a really good job. Daryl's like, hurry up and do it already. I don't care. You're gonna kill me or not. Let's just do this. Daryl's a badass. If Daryl dies, we riot. They definitely mixed it up with eeny, meeny, miny, mo routine, so you didn't know which one they were going. They went out of order. They just did that, and he kind of mixed it up, which is to throw you off, and it definitely did. That's fine. You can do all that, but build it up. But you have to, finish the deal in there too. The responses were great by the actors, and again, the actors did a great job. I wouldn't give it to them, but just the writers did a shitty job with it too. Maggie looked terrible. You felt bad for her. She better be okay, and the baby. She better have the baby after all this. Then it comes to Glenn. Watch the scene when he's thrown back in by Dwight. They linger on him a little bit. Does that mean anything? I don't know, but watch it again. You'll see what I'm talking about. The first person view is actually a great idea. It makes you feel like you're in the episode. I think they did a good job with that. It's definitely a good way to do it. That would have been cool, but again, you have to show us who gets hit at the end. You can't let us wait, especially at the end. Maybe at the mid-season finale that might have worked, but you can't do that. Now we got to wait till October. This is ridiculous. Greg Nicotero, you sold this episode like it was huge. Best thing you ever did on there. Walker Stalker Cruise, all this other stuff. And basically, I think it would kind of sucked. It might have been one of the worst episodes of this season. This is how it ended. Black empty screen with some noises, bat sounds, whatever. But again, the comic book was well done. They did it in the show and Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo style. They replicated it almost to perfection with different scenes in this, Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. But we never got this scene. We didn't see this part, and that's the whole thing. All the build-up with no reward. That's probably going to how it be when it comes back in October. This is how it's going to start. It was totally unnecessary not to reveal the victim. Didn't have to wait. Didn't have to do this. Whereas in the comic book, you didn't have to wait. They didn't like stop the page and just take it out. They ended like this. You see the victim like that. And this is probably how it's going to start in October, and we're going to know. But we got to wait all freaking summer with the group doing that. So kicking and screaming. But thanks, guys. Let us know what you think. Who do you think got picked? Let us know, and thank you for the support.